Kano State Internal Revenue Service has pledged to galvanize tax frameworks and sensitization to boost its revenue in 2025. The Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Kano State on Revenue Matters, Alhaji Amin Shuaib, made the pledge at a workshop for civil society and informal sector groups on gender-responsive tax reform.
This workshop is a welcome development, actually, and I'm happy to be a participant in this workshop. Actually, like yesterday, I was one of the panelists that make a lot of input in the workshop, actually, and I'm very happy this workshop is going to streamline is going to augment the effort being put in place by Kano Internal Revenue Service to streamline payment of taxes in Kano. Kano is big, actually. We are trying to see that we are covering all the market, in sensitizing all the market people and people generally in making them to sensitizing them to pay tax as at when due. We are doing that, actually.
The program lead, Tax Justice and Governance Platform, Mr. Sadiq Mustafa, expressed the need for a gender-centered design in the state's tax framework.
Today, we gathered here to do a 2-day capacity building training for civil society organizations and the informal sector, especially on pushing and advocating for gender-responsive tax reform in Kano State. And the reason for that is that we conducted a gender perspective analysis study in Kano to understand how taxes impact women and men differently. And one of the things we uncover is there is need for a gender-centered design in our tax framework in order to ensure both genders are being assessed and they pay their taxes according to their own fair share, according to their income levels, and not based on direct assessment, which at most time affect informal business, particularly the nano people operating at the nano business level. To further support in this area, we are also proposing the tax for service model or agreement, where the market leaders will provide a certain level of revenue to the government, and in return they will invest back that amount of taxes collected in that particular establishment. And in doing so, it will improve voluntary compliance, and the citizen will further see that their taxes are further working for them.
Accordingly, Ashaulu Dockers, Gender Officer of the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, Kano, said the training would increase the capacity of civil society groups, especially women groups in the informal sector.
Yesterday, we started a capacity building session around gender responsive tax reform in Kano State, and we are looking at increasing the capacity of civil society group and especially women group in the informal sector. And this is because we understand that the informal sector has a lot of women-led businesses, and majority of that population is made up of women.
Also, Tijani Ahmed, Research Fellow, African Center for Tax and Governance, said the training and research will examine whether there is a disparity or bias stereotype in the gender policy and administration in Nigeria, specifically in Kano State. It will also examine how the tax administration affects genders differently.
The main purpose of this research is to examine whether there is disparities, bias or stereotype in the gender policies and administration in Nigeria, as I said, specifically in Kano State, and see how these policies or administration affects men and women differently, so that we have disaggregated data for policy makers and for further research.